So in 2016 the BirdRing app was released, which was pretty exciting for us ring readers because it enables you to log observations of ringed birds in your Android phone and immediately submit them to the relevant project over the internet. This means that even while still observing the bird in the field, you could have access to its full life history. And it also saves you a lot of time because you don't have to submit these observations manually, which is all pretty cool. Now, one of the other features of the BirdRing app is that you can send yourself a file with all the observations that you have logged on the phone. And with the MarkBirds database version 1.9.0, you can now use that file to import these observations into the database. And let me briefly show you how that works. So I've sent myself the file from the BirdRing app and I've opened it here in Excel. And as you can see, it contains 4 observations, 2 black-headed gulls, an oyster catcher and a herring gull. And I'm going to import these into the MarkBirds database. So the feature is accessible through the layout menu. So I click here on BirdRing Import. So the first step is to import the CSV file through the Browse button. I can browse to the file and double click it or click Open or Insert. And that will load the CSV file into the system. But the observations have not been imported yet, because first I may want to make some changes. So I could, for instance, want to change the color or code of the ring, change the species, date and time, maybe add a note or add the activity. And what I particularly want to change is the location details, because most likely the app will not have saved the location in the way that I've saved the location details in the database. So I can change that first. And particularly the information about country and province is missing. So I can add it here manually, or preferably I can choose a location that already exists in the database. So for this one I can select this location here, and as you can see the country and the province is automatically loaded. I can do the same for this location, and this one was somewhere else. And I can also make use of the copy and paste buttons to speed up this process. Now for this example I'm going to exclude this observation so that it is not going to be imported into the database. And to run the actual import I click on Import into MBDB and confirm that I want to do this. Now what's happening is that for each observation a search is being done and the system tries to find an exact match. And when the process is completed, a summary is shown. So as you can see here, 4 observations have been processed, 2 have been successfully imported, and for 1 no match has been found, and 1 we have excluded. And you can see this here as well indicated by these statuses. So as a final step, it's always good to check to see how it was entered. So we can click on Show Imported Observations, and we can see the 2 observations here. And this is the actual data that is stored in the database. And to have more context, we can view the bird in the bird overview. And here we can see the observation that we have added for this particular bird. And we can view all the other observations to see when we saw it previously. And we can do the same for the other birds. And that's pretty much the process completed. Now for more background information and more details on the setup and the working of this feature, please check out my blog post. You can find the link in the comments below.